Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of GeekFest. My name is Fani Reinders, and today I spoke to Cecil de Toy about Power BI. This interview was recorded over Google Hangouts, and because of this, the quality might differ, so I please ask to bear with us. But furthermore, enjoy this episode. Welcome everybody. This is another episode of GeekFest. My name is Fani Reinders, and we've got Cecil de Toy with us. It's us two South Africans living in the Netherlands, and it's funny because we're talking English, but we're actually Afrikaans. Cecil, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. And your side?
Well, the weather looks the same. It looks promising. It's hot as hell for 5 days that we have summer.
Yeah, it's
But
good.
any case,
Thanks for having me, Fani.
you're here to talk about Power BI. Tell us a bit
Yeah.
more. Where does it fit in?
Well, we should actually take a step back. It's about the offerings that Microsoft brought out for Self BI, basically to allow power users to do any kind of reporting or building of dashboards for themselves. Because usually, if you go look in enterprise, usually you have dedicated BI specialists, or you have to set up very expensive servers and everything for people to actually just look at existing data that's available. So what Microsoft did is they decided to focus firstly on using Excel as the main tool for any kind of self BI capabilities to bring to the end user. They also then brought out various add-ins, and eventually they decided to stick to the name called Power. So you will hear various, I'll show it to you, various things like Power Query, Power View, and Power Map. And then they extended on to having an online offering called Power BI, which is more, you don't need Excel, where you can do everything on in the browser, and you can easily share your dashboards or your charts to anybody outside your company or to friends, which is kind of exciting because usually a lot of people were dependent on, we have to get Office to kind of design any kind of dashboarding capabilities.
Yeah, you're right, because I used to work on Excel, and I saw this Power BI tool ribbon thing popping up, and after installing that, and it was quite a cool experience for me. If I'm talking about the same thing though, and then your previous talk that you spoke about Office 365 at FixUp. You showed the web-based version of it. So is it all completely moved over to the web version, or is it still like two different worlds?
No, it's two different worlds. It's two different worlds in the sense of on the desktop you have more capabilities for now, and what you can do now, you can bring all your information into one place. The online version, like you said, was kind of more focused. That was coming from the Office 365 offering, because that's where the whole Power BI started. But Microsoft has now completely made a separate online service where you can subscribe or buy just the Power BI offering. We previously had to go to Office 365, have your own tenant in Office 365 to kind of be able to do all these fancy reporting capabilities. So yeah, so the world is changing where they're trying to merge it. And also from Microsoft's perspective, they don't want you to be stuck in one place. So if you design your reports in Excel on your desktop, and now you need to go out of the office and kind of find, and you still want access to it, you can publish that Excel workbook to Office 365, or you can upload to the Power BI online service and use all the available mobile apps that they provide. Specifically for Power BI, you get apps for your iPad and for the Android, all those type of platforms where you can easily get access to that information. So in a sense, they are separate, but they're kind of merging into being one offering.
And also, just taking a quick step back, yeah, you mentioned the word tenant. Now, for those that doesn't know, can you briefly explain to the non-Office 365 guys out there, what do you mean by tenant? Is it like an instance in the cloud? Is it subscription? What is Office 365 tenant, and
Yeah.
where does it fit in?
Yeah, okay. To on a high level to explain, so when you subscribe to Office 365 offering, you will get assigned a tenant where you basically give yourself a unique name. So let's take Northwind, for example, as always as an example company. You would have northwind.onmicrosoft.net as your tenant name. For example, I've got a demo one, which I call, Sysel DT demo there. And that's where basically we get access to, when you log in, to various functionalities in Office 365, like subsites, all these type of things that you want to do in Office 365. Yeah.
And the stupid question now from my side, does that actually live on Azure, the Office 365 thing, or is it a semi-separate?
It's semi-separate, but usually if you sign up for Office 365, you will get also Azure instance, because Office 365 works with Azure Active Directory when you manage all your user access and stuff. So in a sense, they are combined, but it doesn't stop you from having a separate Azure subscription to manage, for example, other cloud services that gets offered by Microsoft. But if you want, you can of course use the same login credentials and same tenant in that sense.
So AD is the same, but if you think about a tenant, the Office 365 tenant, you shouldn't be thinking about the Azure cloud. It's two different worlds.
It's two different worlds. That's why also Office 365 is completely separate from Azure. But the only thing that's really connecting them now is the Azure Active Directory, where people need to, for example, register users. In Office 365, you've got custom applications to check around, which also must be registered in your Azure Active Directory. And what's kind of nice with it, with Azure Active Directory, you can log into various offerings. So, for example, Power BI, you will use your login credentials that you subscribe in Office 365 to log into Power BI as well.
Okay, cool. So you mentioned earlier offline that we should actually share your screen and let's poke around and see what is Power BI all about. Would you mind sharing? Is it open? Is it ready?
Yeah, I'll quickly share my screen with you.
Just minimize all the work stuff.
Yeah, hopefully I close them all.
Hey, there's me.
There you see yourself. Let me quickly switch to my browser. So, firstly, since we're talking mostly about Power BI, it's very easy to go to Power BI. It's powerbi.microsoft.com. But also, if you just type in your browser powerbi.com, it will automatically take you to that website.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go back to this one. So as you can see, like I said, before we're going to go and look into the details of this, I just want to take a step back and look at the first offerings that Microsoft brought to the table.
Sure, go ahead.
Because personally, I'm not a professional BI person. My life's always been about development and SharePoint. All the BI stuff I usually went to some person that was a professional in that. But with the self BI capabilities, it became very interesting. For me just to have a quick look and high overview of what is possible. So the one thing that I mentioned earlier was Microsoft brought out the Power Query for Excel, which is an add-in that you install with your Office suite for Excel, which basically allows you to import various data from various locations, and then you can kind of, mash all this information into various things. Just to scroll down here quickly on a high level, here let me zoom in a bit. They mention various things from data sources that you can use, even from a web page, from another Excel file, text files, SQL Server databases, online services, my favorite SharePoint lists.
There we go. So the version I was talking about is specifically this one that I actually installed on Excel and I worked with, and I was quite impressed.
Yes.
So you're saying all this functionality and more is on the web version
as well, which I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Yeah. So The one of them uses a data source is an OData feed that's publicly available at odata.org. Is a Northwind database that they kind of expose via OData, that we can have some real nice data to play around in Excel and on the online offerings. So that was Power Queries. It's all about managing pulling in all the information into Excel. Following that, you had this Power View. This is more about also kind of generating charts and fancy views on your data. But you will see
this is what salespeople and your manager, for instance, like to see in presentation.
This is basically that. And I think this Power View was, from my understanding, was like the start before we got to the whole Power BI offering to use. So again, there's a lot more information about Power View. Sorry, if you want to know more about that. And then lastly, you had Power Map that was also added in Excel to basically kind of visualize your data on Earth, basically on a map to kind of do that.
So how does that work? You visualize your data, but that needs to sort of know the geolocation of your data, or it's relevant to your location though.
Yeah, so based on certain values, Excel can kind of realize that this data has some kind of location-based information, so then it can try and map on it. So the best would be if you have, for example, GPRS points in your data, because it's specifically to that. I think the easiest way, let's quickly use this and just open Excel. So one thing is, you will see I've got the Excel 2016 preview.
The shiny version.
The shiny version. But these add-ins also works in Excel 2013. Unfortunately, not in 2010. It's 2013 and upwards to use these add-ins. So firstly, if I switch over to my tab data, there's this little icon, new query. If I do a drop down, you will see there's this various options it provides from where do I want to get my information from. As you can see, it even goes to other sorts of databases from Azure. There you get some nice offerings, your normal SQL databases in Azure. Marketplace is basically where you can buy information. Myself, I haven't done a lot with that, but I know, for example, if you want statistics that's sometimes sold by other companies, they can put that information on the Azure Marketplace, so you can use that to kind of improve your own data that you use inside your enterprise. And then, of course, you've got Azure HD Insights. That's a whole different business intelligence offering that Microsoft have, and of course blob storage and table storage if you use that to store information. And then they've got this other sources, and here you've got a lot of different options. So, for example, I think normal end users would love this from Facebook. So if you want to do something,
but where's Twitter? That's my little cup of tea.
So I think,
but I'm sure this list is growing. It should be a growing list though.
Yeah, this is a growing list. This is a growing list. So if you, for example, you can even, if you have an ODBC connection to some data source that's not on the list, you can use that as well. There are other options as well to kind of customize the data source connection settings to connect the data. But I, for myself, have never found a reason to create a custom connection to get to data. All the data is usually here.
Just another quick question. Sorry for interrupting you there. Let's quickly speak about the plugins, if you may, the from Facebook and the SAP. I see also Salesforce. That data sources, is it running over HTTP? Is it REST calls, or is it special TCP connections that I have open? How does it work? Do you know?
Well, most of these online services would run through normal HTTP requests, from REST and all those type of things. Some of them if you look more to these other ones, to databases, these will work through normal TCP connections. I don't know each one, but for example, all your online things are usually REST-based services. What it does is it kind of pre-configures some of the settings. So if you want to connect to certain data sources, you need to, for example, choose the authentication method. How do I connect in, log in, and that's why they kind of preset those settings for you. So example, Salesforce, I mean, you don't need to type in the Salesforce URL. It already knows the default URL, and you just log in with your credentials, and it will automatically go figure out where your data is in Salesforce.
Okay, so it creates that security context using OAuth, for instance,
Yes.
and then it will link you up. Okay, so that means if you have your company name here, if you have an item for your company there, for instance, let's say ABC Store, and you choose from my company. If I know it doesn't exist now, but
Yes.
in the future that might exist. Am I right?
Um,
You have your own custom. Because if you talk about connectors as there, that's running over HTTP, surely, and if you combine that with the power of Office apps, surely it's possible.
yeah, surely. You're on the right track there. So you can do that completely.
Okay.
The recommended way that Microsoft asks is to use OData feeds. So if you create a REST service with OData, then it's easily to import your own data. Well. So example is now, if you look at the screen, I use that Northwind web service, which is available now publicly. I put that in, and I say, okay.
So that's a normal WCF service that just happens to have an OData endpoint.
Yes, that's correct. So from here, it kind of picks up all the entities that's available in this web service.
And that's the entities that you decided to expose on that endpoint. It's not all your whole database. It's your public entity context kind of thing that you expose publicly.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. So let's take orders, because that's always a fun one to take for sales. So immediately what happens, it kind of loads some information, so a snapshot of your information.
But it loads quickly, or is it buffering, or?
Yeah, that's why you will see it only tells it loaded. It would start loading small bits of information. It's not a bit quick, but it will say it will try to load the first 100 and try to increment as much as possible. If I remember correctly, it will load a maximum of 1,000 records for now.
Okay, and as you go on further, demand more, it will get at pages. So it's actually paging it.
Yes, and I think that was one thing of what OData supports as well, where you can limit your amount of records you want to bring back as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So in the right, there's a pane that shows, for example, the orders that I want. Of course, there's a whole bunch of more information, what you can do with this. I can say, listen, refresh, go get the latest data for me. As you can see there, it loads. As well, I can also kind of duplicate this. I can send this. They've got this concept of a data catalog. So if you want to have your information in a catalog to reuse in the future, then you don't have to reset up all the connections, everything. It's just in a data catalog, which you can easily get access to as well. At the top, you will have your query. So again, same settings that you get here when I right click on it. Where I can add more things to this.
Okay.
There's a lot more options to this. If I go to data again and I say new query, if I want to again, from other feed, and again I can do this again, and I can say, listen, I also want to load the customer information that's available on this one. Well, a nice thing as well, it gives you a preview again of the data that's available for you in there. So there it says 91 preview loaded, and then it loads a bit more. Okay, so now to take it a step further,
so you've got two different data sets now from the same service. It just happens to be from the same service.
Yeah, this happens to be, yeah.
But the orders could have been from Azure, at Salesforce. Am I right?
Yes, it can be from anywhere. So that's the thing about Power Queries, that it allows you to bring in data from various sources where you can merge it, combine it to create a better view for your end users. Example, if you combine queries and I say merge, then I can say, listen, I want to merge my orders with my customers. Another good example might be, let's say you use Salesforce for managing all your customer information, and you have internal sales system or product information, and you want to merge them to get an overview, then you can easily do that as well.
It looks it looks like neat and shiny stuff. I must stop saying I must stop to say shiny, because it gets lame after a while. But this is actually great stuff.
Yeah, the thing for me is it's very easy for the end users. Some people say this is a death of BI specialists, but that's not true. There's still more stuff to do for them. But yeah, so this is the first step to kind of bring the information into Excel. We can work with it. The next thing I want to show you is,
before we move on, I knew from experience, one of our business analysts we had, if you give him like custom applications that has loads of grids on, he will try to copy it. All those information, he goes to Excel with it. Everyone likes Excel, and they, even customers, they're happy to have their information in Excel. Even if you most of the applications I've written is Excel driven in a way, because all the reports, they just want to export to Excel, and they just want to manage the reports with an Excel tool that they know.
Yeah, I've had the same experience with that. With clients, they use Point to put all the information there, but they still want to pull it into Excel because that's where they are used to working with information. So I agree with you. That's why Mike's also decided it doesn't help to bring out a separate tool for all this self BI capabilities. Put everything into Excel because people know how to use Excel.
Absolutely. So there's that app again, but not shiny app.
Sure. So the next thing to show is called pivot charts and pivot tables. This is very straightforward. We can do basic charting type of information, where you can actually kind of say, listen, this information I want to, you can even select a subset of information if you want. And you can say, listen, put a new pivot table for me in a new worksheet, or link it to existing worksheet. So for now, I'll just put new. So what this does, it expands everything. Yeah, you have a question, Fani?
Yes, sorry. So this is actually using the functionality of Excel based on your data that you got from using the Power BI?
Yes.
Yes.
So because I went back and I said here, select all. And then I went to insert, and then you've got this pivot chart. Yeah. Okay. Down there you can say, listen, I only want to have a pivot chart, or I want a pivot chart and pivot table. And when I selected that, it kind of know that I selected orders, because this what was the Power Query insert into the sheet. But I could easily say, no, listen, I actually just want this information. I don't want all.
I see. Okay, so you can pick you can pick your cherries on what exactly you want.
Yes, and even once the options here is, for example, say no, listen, I want to use something completely different. Say use another external data source, and then say choose connection.
Yeah. Okay.
But as you can see, the one offering it has is all the two connections already made to orders and customers. Or I can say, no, listen, I want to do something completely different to connect to other information as well.
Wow, that's cool. So this information, this metadata, if you may, gets saved to your worksheet when you save this workbook. Now, all those metadata is saved, and when someone else opens up, it will attempt to reconnect when you try to refresh it and everything.
Yes, so we can try that as well to just show you that. So if I quickly save this to my PC, let's just say desktop, make it easy, with GeekFest demo, save, and if I close this and I go to my desktop, and all the icons,
That just looked like Excel was running on Node.
I agree with it. So immediately it gives you, of course, the security warning to say, listen, that this workbook connects to external information. Do you want to enable the content? Yes or no? And of course, we want to enable it. So then easily I can get to that information. I can come here and say, listen, refresh, go fetch the latest information for me. There's some there. Oh, I just saw that there was an update to the Power Query. Okay. Appears to be invalid.
Something obviously went wrong, but I can see the connection is there.
Yeah.
But for some reason not connecting.
Let's quickly see Power Query.
Because this is a real world scenario. I mean, let's just do this process again, just to see if we did something wrong.
Yeah, let's quickly see workbook settings. Let's quickly touch. No, it's not this one here. Data source settings. So there's Northwind. Edit. None of this. Yeah. Fine. Let me try quickly just reset up the connection.
Do you think it's credentials related, or is this open? Is this API open?
No, this API is completely open.
Okay.
Users can actually access this.
Maybe try to stop Node.js and then just,
must be Node that's interfering. Okay. Oh well, don't know exactly. Just to save time, I think we can still continue. We still have a
yes. Yeah, that was just like a sort of a rock I wanted to throw in there just to see how it works, because I know it works definitely, because I've tried this specific feature.
Yeah.
In the add-in one, and it works brilliantly. For me to give this to my client or to the BA, and say, here's your extract, and also don't bother asking me over emails for data anymore. Just click the shiny refresh button.
Yes.
And you'll get connect to SQL, although it can. We just expose the service, a service which just happens to already linked up. You can just open up the workbook and refresh.
Yeah, that's correct. It's lost you a bit there, Fani.
Yeah, sorry. For some reason, the connection is not so good. Hopefully, it'll come better at times. So that brings me to another point on this live data from your sources. Is this only on Excel, or is this capability also happening on PowerPoint, for instance? Because it would be great to do and I don't want to shift this whole thing about Power BI, but it is relevant to presentations. So if you give a presentation to a board or something, is it possible to link exactly this, but instead of having it linked to a spreadsheet, to link it to a chart that's on PowerPoint?
Yeah, if I quickly see if I can get, where's my PowerPoint? PowerPoint is missing action. There's PowerPoint. For PowerPoint, usually you can do that. Insert a chart from Excel.
But here is no Power BI add-in available here.
No, there's no Power BI add-in. So basically, you'll still use Excel to do all that work, to say create charts and everything, and then you can just insert it into your. So there's Excel spreadsheet.
Yes. But that's adding an Excel spreadsheet. But if that Excel spreadsheet is linked to Salesforce, will it get the live information?
Yes, then you can get the live information from there, so it is available. for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. There's whole guidance from Microsoft on how to do that as well. Because it makes sense. Because you don't want to redo your work you've done in Excel on the
Exactly.
PowerPoint slide. And like you said, everybody use PowerPoint to present to a board or to other colleagues. So it makes sense to just insert it.
Exactly. Yeah, they go from asking the developer for information, although it's temporary information, and they go to a report which extracts to Excel, and eventually it ends up in PowerPoint anyway. And it's not and it also most of the time it's not a permanent thing. It's a once-off, might be used 5 times kind of a report, and it changes. And that's the beauty of this. You can pick your cherries and use Excel and Power BI and PowerPoint, and it works,
Yeah.
and no code required.
No code required. That's the whole thing about this. It's all about self-BI. No code, no technical person needed. You can just do it yourself. One thing just to mention, if you go under the data tab, there's this refresh all, which will refresh all your data connections. As you can see, currently we still have that connection. Feeds metadata document appears to be invalid. It might be because of the 2016 preview as well, but I'll investigate this after this session of ours.
Yes, just on that quick, I just want to touch on Office 2016 because I have the same problem. Well, not the same problem. I tried installing the 2016 preview, the 64-bit, because I was using 32-bit 2013.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the side-by-side loading with a 64-bit and a 32-bit Office. Not that it should matter, really. And I ended up removing the Office 2013 and just installing 2016, and I had tons of problems. One being, this might be preview-related stuff, early bugs that they will probably fix, but stuff like the first time you open up an Office application like Excel or PowerPoint,
Yeah.
it will ask you for accepting the license agreement.
Yes.
After you signed in. Now, when I click that button, it just says this program needs to close, send a report. Cheers. So I ended up uninstalling it and eventually got it working. And that's just one of the few things that got me a little bit less excited about actually using the Office. But that's just growing pains, I believe. Eh?
But was it possibly a Windows update? Because I've heard
it might be
stories that set updates weren't installed correctly in the right order, then things break.
It might be. Also, I had it the first time I had it where I actually installed Office. When you go to Office 365 and install it from there, the online installer, it ended up stopping at 77%, and it stopped there. And I went back and restarted again, and it goes, and then all of a sudden stops at 77, and it just exits. But I got it working somehow. But yes, it was a headache, at least.
That's why they call it the preview.
Yeah, that's why they call it preview. Yeah, if something doesn't work, they would just put preview in front of it. Like like this broadcast, for sure there's like bad times where there's bad signal and bad quality. We'll just stick a preview sticker on this, and the guys will understand.
It's a good one. Yeah, like I said, just put a little sticker there.
Yes, I'm actually going to do that and then see. Okay, guys, let's move on.
Yeah, to the second. We've talked so much just about Power Query. Like I said, there's even more, but unfortunately, due to time, we can't show everything. Power Pivot is basically for you to kind of quickly draw up charts, make it a simple one. You can, for example, say, I want to see how many orders were there by order date. So rather to do sum, let's just say, I want to actually just do the count. How many orders were the count? I'm
not going to go interrupt you here because when it comes to pivot or anything that ends with pivot, my brain goes.
Yeah, there is so much to play around with with this Power Pivot. I myself, I'm not even working with this 100% of the time. I mean, there's people that works in business, in sales, that are completely crazy about this, that they kind of know every ins and outs of Power Pivot. So trying to figure order date. Yes, we order date. It's values. Yes, some orders I want. The values are a bit not too big. So one of the things, just to continue, but this gives you an idea of, you can quickly add fields. If I want to kind of, I can add more fields to this, as you see, but let's maybe add it as a filter. I can filter as well, basically, when, you know what, let's not take ship date, let's rather say, I want to filter it, remove field, by country. Let's maybe do that. Sorry, like that. So what happens here, I can easily, it shows you each day, let's make it a bit bigger, how many orders were there for each day. You can then basically go and say, listen, I just want to filter it. I just maybe want to see it for one specific day, and it will zoom in. Or you can say, listen, I want to see everything again, but I only want to see it for the country of Brazil. And it can quickly, easily filter that information out. You can do a lot more where you can show error bars, add more information below, trend lines. And this chart, you can also change to change chart type. And there's a whole bunch of different charts that you can use, and looks and feels. So just line charts.
Is this the same as Excel's charts, or is this its own?
This is the evolution of Excel charts. That's what I always tell people. So it brings much more to the table than what the default charts brought to the table. Like I said, the information as well, you can filter from here as well. You can hide that information as well. You can say, listen, I want to select multiple countries. I want to compare Denmark and Brazil's orders. All these type of things. But I would advise that users just go play around with this, because I mean, if you can create new calculated fields as well.
Oh wow!
Of information. I think, let's look at my data model.
And you don't need the 2016 preview. You can do this on 2013.
You can do this on 2013, yes. I just quickly want to see something. There's something seriously wrong.
Yeah, you have good connection issues, dude.
But at least it give you the idea of what you can do.
Yes.
You can also create new KPIs. KPIs are, it's because now I've got a dark connection problem. I can't create a new model, because Power Pivot basically allows you to take your data source and create your own custom model, where you can, combine information. A simple example might be first name, last name. You want to combine into one name. You want to kind of have prices, but you want to say, listen, I only want to have, I don't care about the cents. I just want, for example, the euro value. All those type of information. You can kind of customize your data to anything that you want. And like the charting, you can go crazy. You can customize it. You can see they've even got themes. Let's go black. You can do all kinds of things that you're required to do for charting. The interesting bit for me, and that's always a very nice one to show people, is
I like the azure color, by the way.
It's good. I'm just quickly going to try closing Excel again, because it's.
You see, there's Node again.
No,
it's Node.
I love Node. I'm just quickly going to see if I maybe open this up again. You know what? Yeah, that's what happened. My apologies. It opened up that Excel 2016 document in Excel 2013. I still got both loaded.
Aha.
That's the reason. That's why 2013 didn't understand metadata. So let's quickly try and refresh all my data connections. Yeah, it looks all fine.
Now you're doing it in 2016 and it actually knows, okay, this works.
It works, yes.
Okay, but if you did the same thing using 2013, 2016 wouldn't have a problem, but because you did it in 2016, the metadata is structurally different. Is that what you're saying? And then if you open it up in 2013, it just says, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, it's because, it's the same if you go from Office 2010 to 2013, you can always open 2010 to 2013, but you can always have problems if you open a 2013 document in 2010. Now, same year, we start off in 2016 and try to go back, which is causing issues to this document.
But it will always be backwards compatible with the lower versions, right? Well, not always is a bad word to use.
100%. Some information might be deprecated or will not be visible, but other information will still work. So, for example, if you create a chart and that chart it was still valid during 2013, that information will still work. But as you saw, we cannot refresh information on that.
Okay.
Let's quickly see if I get something better now. Yeah, see, I get a better view now on the Power Pivot as well. So immediately even enhanced the experience. We immediately picked up the dates and kind of groups them by year, even into quarters, and it automatically creates these drop downs for me. So if I just want to filter by, I just want to see the 1997 orders, and it easily adapts to that. But the thing I actually want to show you now is, I love this. Let's just go to here, select items, is the map. So you've got Open Power Map that I mentioned earlier. So what's trying to do now, it's, come on, where are you? Okay, it's loading. Oh, they're finally coming.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it may kind of pre-select some information, but as you can see, this basically the Earth, and it got these little dots. So it immediately picked up, hey, there's a ship city, and that uses one location, but I can say, no, I just want based on a country. And then I can say, okay, listen, because at the moment, it shows me where all the orders are coming from in the world, but it's flat, but I want to have some high chart. So I said, let's add the order, so I want to know how many orders were there per country. So let's just say you will see, for example, count, not blank, and distinct. Let's just take count distinct. And as you can see, then it immediately gives you this high bar charts where you can do that. So this is one layer, for example. I can add another layer to this view where I can say, okay, also by country, I want to see how many customers is actually ordering from us. So I can use employee ID. Again, we just make them count distinct because, sorry, this is employee. This is not customer. Customer ID. Let's count distinct. Sure. And as you can see there, but now you can see it kind of, because based on countries, it shows you the two bars next to each other, but you can have different layouts. So, for example, this one, which basically indicates by a circle, bigger the circle is, the more customers came from there. It's even got this heat map visualization.
That's quite handy.
Yeah. So that is also very interesting. I can easily go and say, but for the second layer, I rather want to have it by city. Should update this correctly. So then the information is a bit more scattered now. But as you can see, it kind of zooms in to the country. So here in England, it will say most of my customers only come from London. It seems like it's London around there. But yeah, so here you've got a whole, yeah.
There's one Dutch customer as well.
Yes,
Was it Paris? What's that? Where's that?
That looks Belgium.
Belgium.
Yeah, this is Belgium. Sub-country Belgium.
Okay.
as you can see there.
That's also quite cool, where you can hover over it and see that's not just a little rectangle showing you where it is or what it means. It's actually there's a tooltip popping out and saying, hey, there's more information, tick here. And what's that gear? That gear icon, where you now? If you're on your right?
On the right?
No. If you hover over a bar.
Over yeah.
Yes. That gear little icon on the pop-up.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's if you want to kind of change information or add in more information to this. So, example, if I'm on hover, I want to add more. Let's say.
Okay, so you can make it. Yet again, you can cherry pick your view.
Yeah, right. You can add more information into that drop down. Let's just quickly say freight. Yeah. No aggregation. Let's try. Let's say when was the ship date for the orders? Then it can give you more information as well. Yeah, okay, let's do that. So if I hover now over this, then I get a lot more information. For example, the different ship dates for orders, when and where. If I click on it, it gives you more details. All that. So you can really go crazy with the amount of information you want to put in this pop-up view as well.
I can just imagine now telling a developer, for instance, to say, okay, guys, now you have to code this for us from the start up. I want Power Query kind of functionality. I want this charts animated. It's doable, but yet again, why reinvent the wheel? Not that it's a bad thing, but it's use the tools at your disposal.
Yes, that's true.
And very few people actually knows about these kind of things. This is for me the first time I see this map feature, and this is awesome.
Yeah, again, for me as well. Every day I'm discovering new things. How all these things work. Because it constantly gets updated as well by Microsoft. So yeah, you do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Do you know what a blob is?
Sorry?
A blob.
A blob?
Yes, not the storage blob, a blob. B-L-O-B. Let me give you a hint. Do you know what a LOB is? Like a line of business application?
Yeah, business, yeah.
So a blob is a boring line of business application.
Oh, boring line. Okay.
Yeah. So this gives you this makes blobs even cooler. So gone are the days of the blobs.
Okay, yeah, it's true. I think this experience will help a lot to that. So just more things to show. From here, so you can easily switch between a flat view and a Earth ball type of view. Where you can kind of go around, but if you want, you can quickly switch to a flat view. Like a normal map.
Yes.
Like the old days, there was no round maps. Everything was flat. To switch around, there's various themes as well. You can create different scenes. On how to customize information as well. You can create, of course, tours. This is quite an interesting thing, where you can create different scenes, and then you can start playing a tour. Then it's like almost a video, where you can switch between ones.
Wow.
If I say new scene, I'm just going to make a copy of this. Maybe we want to change the theme from, let's try maybe this one. No. Let's go completely dark. Let's see that. There's a dark one. I want to view that. Let's make another new scene. New world map. Change the theme to this colors, for example. Let's say by region, I want to add more. Let's say again, let's see if there's employees working. How many employees are there in each region? Okay, So if I've done everything right, this is a very high level, I can play my tour. As you can see, it kind of automates that, and then I can go to my next scene. It just shows you that, and then I can do that as well.
That's quite cool. So it's like a little mini PowerPoint.
It's like a mini PowerPoint, but you can do fancy stuff with it. Actually, you can tour, to say, listen, have a view, for example, of Europe, and then on the next scene go to America, Then it's easy way for people to kind of give them an experience, a better experience on how to view the information.
Awesome stuff.
I really advise to just go play around with this. There's a lot more that I can show. I mean, we can have a session completely just about Power Map.
Yes, or just a session completely just about Excel, for that matter, because we should totally do that. Do sessions for Excel, for Word. I mean, especially with the new versions that are coming out now. What has changed? What is new? What is out of the window? And also our thoughts about it.
Yeah, I think we should definitely, when the final version of 2016 comes out, I think we should do that. It's a nice review. Because also, I'm not going to show this one in detail, but there's also Power View.
Yeah.
Also, it's a different way of presenting information with charts as well. But I think let's leave this one as homework for the viewers to go look at themselves a bit. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So just to also to recap, we spoke about Power Pivot, Power Query, Power Map, and now this Power View. This is all read-only information, so the functionality isn't there to push back to the server, right?
No,
so it's just I want to pull information, I want to make sense of it, and I want to do reports and fancy charts, fancy slides with it.
Yes.
It's not necessarily pushing it back to the server, although it's possible if you implement your app, I believe, somehow, maybe.
You can, to a degree. You know, what's nice with this workbooks now, of course, you design it, you can easily upload to Office 365 site, where you can reuse this charts, and make it available to your enterprise, or maybe just to your team, so they can have the same experience. You don't have to mail around the Excel workbook to your members.
Exactly.
So with that, let's go back to Power BI. This is actually the one that the main thing I want to talk about.
Yes.
This is now almost like the evolution. Power BI just start off as offering in Office 365, which is basically where you can design all these type of charts inside the site in Office 365. So here's some example reports that you can use. And as you can see, this is also based off Excel, but it gets rendered in Excel Online. Just loading all the information.
So all these are web-based applications. Yeah. No install needed.
No install needed. These are all there just for online, and that's quite nice. People don't need Excel on a desktop to design reports.
Exactly.
It's taking a while now. So here's an example about the Olympics. So let's go start it. So this is basically where those components that I showed you on Excel is to basically reuse that information in an online experience. As you can see, like they state here, learn how to build this Olympics workbook using tools like Power Query. And this workbook was published in Office 365, where it basically provides all these different interactions to your users. So there you can filter on information as well, top countries, all these type of information. So that's why I said the evolution started from Excel on a desktop. They kind of made it possible for you to publish this information in Office 365, where you can also interact with the information and work with the different information. As you can see, I click a country, the data gets filtered. So you can create these dependencies between your charts as well. So it's not like just a static view of, okay, I create my chart and I can't do anything with it. You can actually interact with it as well.
Yeah, which is the nice thing about it, because it's when it's interactive, it feels like an app,
Yeah.
and that sort of merges the barriers between a report and an application. Because in essence, that's what it needs to be. Your application needs to be the report. You don't need to press a button, I want to print it out, really.
Yes. Yeah, that's also part of the contribution of going paperless. You design your reports and everything, and you can get all the information. Again, yeah, you can also see there's also a whole map experience, but it's all in the browser, where you can have various things. So if I click on Europe, it will go to Europe, and it will kind of show. This is now the medal count, for the Olympics as well. And again, you've got your same things where you can filter and all those things. But yeah, so they enhanced this to bring a complete online offering for Power BI. Again, they, like Microsoft, is also trying to make it sound very simple, like get your data, craft your data story, and collect and share your information. As well, they say, it's accessible by mobile as well. So as you see, Android's not there yet.
Android's not there yet.
It's coming. It's coming.
That's one of the few providers that I ever see that, because normally it's Android and Apple, and it's always next to each other.
Yes.
This is actually one of the few ones I've seen that Windows Phone, Windows Store at least, and Apple.
Yeah. So easily, if you want, you can email the link yourself, to your email to quickly get the application installed. See, it says there, Android app on the way.
On the way, yes. So, okay, now you can make use of this, plug in your existing backend, whatever it might be,
yes.
If it's supported, and then you can go play around and web-based version, use it, and make awesome, cool, interactive reports.
Yes, so this is now the pure Power BI offering. So again, there's some solutions as well that you can get more into if you want to read more about this, on how to get this. Pricing, of course, there's a separate pricing. So they have a free offering. Let me just zoom in a bit because this yellow might be not very easy to see. They've got a free offering, and they've got where you pay per user, almost $10 for pro user. Again, this whole comparison. So data capacity limit is 1 gig for free, 10 gig for online user. And again, there's various other things that you can, that's different between the free and the pro version as well.
Yeah, and for some of us, the free version is fine.
Yeah.
You don't need these every hour refresh rates. You can use the daily ones.
Yes, daily ones. Yeah. And again, the pro ones are more, again, if you have Office 365, then you can assign a Power BI license to your users. What's kind of nice of Office 365 in that sense is you can say, listen, I only want 10 Power BI users licenses for people that will create reports and all those things. And as people go away from your company, you can reassign those licenses, or you can reduce your licenses as you need. It's not like you pay for it and you're stuck with it, But yeah, so have a view of this licensing to understand a bit more. There is one thing that I'll show you later on is there's a downloads button. You get, now that I recently launched, is the Power BI Designer. That's if you want to have a desktop experience as well, but I'll show you now this. I want to focus on online experience. Okay. So if you basically log in, I've already logged in into my developer account, then you will have on the left, you will have your dashboard, your reports, and your data sets. These are different views on your information. And at the bottom is the Get Data button. If you click on that, then it will give you two options. Do I want to connect to an online service? Do I want to import a data file? So if I say now I want to connect to online service, it got, again, this pre-configured services that you can use inside Power BI. GitHub, that's a big favorite of all developers. Google Analytics, if you've got your own website, you can connect to that. MailChimp, and all these other ones that you're going to have that's available to you. Again, if you made the wrong choice, you can easily choose some other ones here. So you can also connect to Excel files that's on your OneDrive, I can connect in local, so then I can actually import one.
So this is similar to there's
so, yeah.
Can you hear me?
So that's an example one, the retail one. We'll go to that. But for example, here to import that Excel document of mine, with, basically it reads out all the information, and then I can easily go and play around with this again, to bring in information into it. So order here, for example. Okay, got it. Go away. Then what you can do basically is here on the data sets section, you work with your data, you model your information like you want it, and then you can say, listen, I want to pin this to my dashboard. So then you have, for example, your dashboard here at the top. Save. Let's call it GeekFest report 1. So you can create different reports off your data set. And because I can have more than one report, but I want to have certain information from the reports I want to have in my dashboard. Then I can display it here. Why does it not work that time? Am I working too fast for you? Oh, I've got to save.
Let's
order here again. Let's be pin to your dashboard. Okay, let's say save. Not sure. Yes, done. Let's just call this report 2.
This is similar to the Azure one, where Azure has capability of importing or using the Azure App Service, where they have the capability of connecting to different data sources, and where you can build your logic apps, and you can build it out. It's a similar concept, and I see where they're heading. And it's similar. You can see it has Microsoft written all over it.
Yeah, no, that's true. And that's why I say that in the beginning of when we start, the experiences are starting to merge together.
Yes.
Into where they want to go. But as you can see, it's very straightforward in the sense to create something basic. If you look at the example, when you sign up for Power BI, they give you an example here of one that's pre-generated dashboard, where you can have a nice view of what's going on. You can click on one of the reports, so it'll make it bigger. You can interact with the information again, it's Fashion Direct, that line, it updates the information immediately as I click around, So if I click on that, it updates the information in other charts. Again, you can have that dependencies working with each other. The big favorite thing about this is this ask a question about your data. It's called natural language search, where you can kind of type in things like sales per quarter.
And it's boom, in your face.
Yeah, it just kind of, I didn't type the fancy select statements, it kind of comes up with its own thing, they give me suggestions like sales per quarter that are expensive. Okay, that might be interesting. And give me some kind of chart, which I can also kind of interact with as well.
Is this feature only available in English, or does it have multilingual support like Dutch?
It's a good question. I haven't actually tried that, I think not yet, because again, this online
preview.
But I might be wrong. It's something for me to test out. It's a good one. But let's quickly connect to the analysis. I think most of the viewers would be saying it's called GitHub. So if I want to connect to GitHub and see what's going on there with some project, let's take, I see, they give you an example. Let's go to Microsoft.
Go to the .NET one. .NET, the ASP.NET repository. That's
ASP.
Or do you have the one already set up?
No. I was looking at TypeScript, for example, but let's quickly look on. Let's choose one.
Because if you go to github.com/ASP.NET or ASP.NET.
ASP.NET. Let's go ASP.NET. Yeah.
Yes.
There.
That's a repository. Now, if you go down to the core CLR,
Do you want to go to the core? Where are you?
it should be there somewhere.
Oh, let's just search. Why do we
Let's just search. Exactly. Natural language.
CLR?
There. Sorry, it's not on ASP.NET. It's on .NET. It should be on .NET, not
.NET.
Yeah.
See that?
Core CLR is on there. Yes. Okay. So now if you search there, Core CLR,
CLR.
you should find it.
There.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's do that one. Okay. So we know the owner should be .NET and Core CLR. That should be it. Let's connect. Okay. Okay, now for GitHub, you only have OAuth to use, but if you have other online services that might offer a different type of signings, then you can choose between them. Let's just sign in. Let's see. Okay. So they kind of creates these little stars. You see the stars? That means they new.
Okay.
So if I dashboard, it does these, it's still importing the information, and at the right, you'll see still import information. Because it is a predefined connection template, it kind of pre-generates these dashboards for you as well.
Oh, wow. Now this is quite useful, especially on a DevOps environment where you can jug it on a big screen, and just have this open.
Oh, this open, yes. Another example, for example, that was shown at the Microsoft, how was it called? Insight, the conference, the big conference, not Build, the other one. They showed there, for example, where they designed a dashboard that was monitoring live IoT devices that were sending information in, so that people can actually see, and that information was live updated in the browser.
Obviously using machine learning, or not machine learning, event
at the back end on Azure. Yeah. All those information.
Real-time information, that's the future.
Yeah,
real-time information, interactive reports, and .NET that crashes your browser. There we go. There we go.
So example, so we imported this, I should probably just rename this GitHub core CLR. So it immediately brings you some kind of information, total users on this repository, how many commits this year, all these things. So I think let's quickly try something. Pull requests. Oh yes, it does. So there it brings pull requests, and I have pull requests in open state. Yeah, show me that. So then I can quickly easily see. Oh, okay, wait. There's so many pull requests. What's it about? I can say I like this. Let's pin it to the dashboard. Then pins it there. So I go back to my dashboard. There at the bottom, you put that one there. And again, then of course I can edit it as I want. So I can edit title, say open pull requests. Okay, that should be it. Okay, yeah, it updated my information there. So I can close that. So easily information I can bring in there as well. So let's look at the count of distinct committers per month. If I click on that, let's see what happens. See, then it provides you a different view on the information.
Wow.
And again, this is not static. Again, you can go customize this as well. Do all kinds of fancy stuff that you want to do, as well. Again, you can save a copy of this as well. If you want to kind of just play around with it without breaking the main dashboard, you can save this report. You can edit the report. Because as you can see, all those different views that you get on dashboard are different reports.
Okay.
So that's a way that you would say, listen, I want to build up my different reports. So for example, the year's report commits by hour of day and day of week that they created. I come and customize this as well. But then all these reports gets presented into a dashboard.
I see. Okay.
You kind of say, okay, from this dashboard, I want to go into a different view, a different report, and all those information.
Wow.
So this is one way of doing it. The other way is, some people still does not like the browser for some reason. Then you can get the Power BI Designer. which is your desktop experience. Again, they've got very nice videos to link off that you can view if you want to know more exactly how to do all these fancy charts. You can easily click on Get Data. Again, it provides all the connection types that you saw in Excel. It provides you here as well to connect up to different data sources.
Okay.
So
whenever you can do in the web one, you can do now on the Windows based application one.
Yes. Now let's take that same OData feed that's available. Let me just go and get that URL again.
It would be cool if you can save your dashboard, like your layout and everything, on the web-based version and export that as a project and open it up in the desktop version.
Yes, you can. Let me quickly go back.
Do that?
Yeah, let's quickly see. If according to me, you should be able to do that. Let me first see. Let's start this one. Was not here. Let's quickly see. Because here was this whole export.
Isn't that a download right on top?
Save this what's copied. This
Top right, what's that?
download. This is all the this is all the software.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Something else I need to investigate. But yeah, of course, it should be possible. But another thing I forgot to mention to you is that you can share this dashboard.
Okay.
You want to create a dashboard experience for your customer.
That is awesome.
So I can put the here's my email address, for example, my Gmail address.com. Then I can invite people, there as well. I can put their information, Then here's also shared with. Then you can see exactly who you have shared with, and then you can. Let me just quickly do that and say share. Okay, sorry, I didn't have external sharing enabled. Yes, but if you have external sharing enabled, then you can share it outside your organization.
Is it the same? Is this the external sharing on your Office 365 account?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got, this is my developer account that I have, and there's not external sharing is not enabled there, so that's why I can't share outside now.
Yes.
But if external sharing is enabled, then you can easily share it with other people. But also, like I said, you can actually view to whom you've shared and then remove their rights if you want to remove them again. But switching back to the designer on the desktop, like I said, you can connect to information. You can connect to customer ID. You can design then everything here as well. You can change your chart types, the whole experience that you have. You can have a new page, let's say ship country and by order date. So it automatically changes to a map. All this, I can then say, listen, let's save this. I'll go back to my desktop.
That's called PBIX.
Yes, you'll see that. Yeah, that's a new extension. Northwind. So this is purely for the Power BI designer. So if I say save this to my desktop again, and I go back to Power BI Online, and I say get data, and I say get from file.
Okay.
And then I say local file. Go to my desktop. I'm on my desktop. Where are you now?
There we go. Northwind PBI.
So then I open it up. It's uploading the information again. And again,
wow.
There you have basically the data connections, so your data sets. Because again, you can also merge these different data sets as well. I haven't done it myself yet, but you can have all these type of things as well. So there's data sets to work with the information that you have and the reports. So this example report that I published inside there as well. So then from there, I can say, listen, I want to plan it to a dashboard, whatever I need to do. Okay. So yeah, so you have that experience on both sides. We can do it on the browser, or you can come back into the desktop environment. But personally, I don't foresee that you're really going to use Power BI Designer. Maybe they want to bring up more advanced functionalities that's maybe difficult to do in the browser. I don't know.
Yeah, but the way the web is moving, and this is my opinion. Yes, you have the native apps on your phone, etc. But for applications
Yeah,
out there, these kind of applications, it's just easier to go online, just design your report, hit save. That's there is a space for desktop applications like they have there, but
yeah,
more for offline use, I would say.
yes, yes, that is true. That is true.
But that doesn't mean that a web-based application can't be offline. The same thing that you see here can also then work offline, because this website can use the offline capabilities of the browser and give it the same experience, but just work offline, which is the same thing as an app.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, but the big thing for Power BI, is the machine learning behind it.
Mm.
The way that you can easily interact and easily type. That to me was amazing when when you just start typing, like an entity in your data source, and it will
That is huge.
make this analysis. This customer that buys by segment, don't know, then gives you all this kind of weird information.
And I like the IntelliSense it gives you. You don't have to sort of it sort of preempts and tells you you can actually select by segment.
Yes, yes. So again, this is still preview, so a lot of things do change. There's a lot of help. There's also you can report back what you do like, what you don't like, as
That's
well.
a new feature they've also brought in. I see in Visual Studio now as well.
Yeah.
It's the smiley face, and Windows also has it in
No.
Windows 10, where they give you the smiley face or the feedback button they call it now.
Yes.
So and it's good to give feedback because I believe it helps developers.
Yes. No, that's true. And again, most of these projects are also driven by the user voice channels that Microsoft uses for Office 365. And Power BI, all these things. So we can go say, listen, I want to request this feature or that feature as well.
There's a quick question. There's is the functionality there to pull in user voice data on that topic?
Ah, that's a good question. I would guess so, because they probably don't have something pre-configured here. But I mean, if they expose the data by a REST service, then you can easily pull it in.
Another question is, will it be possible, or is it possible right now to create your own connector, or yet again your company name here or your service name here there?
No, not that I have seen.
Because it's preview, or do you think
Yeah,
it's coming soon?
it
Or
might be coming soon.
because all these other like GitHub, it's all yet again it's REST.
Yeah,
It's
it's
over
all
HTTP.
REST based. Yeah, that's why I think the easiest way for now is to use Excel or the Power BI Designer. It offers you more options to connect to different data. And that's the only way you can really bring in your own information into the Power BI experience for now, to my understanding as well.
Okay.
Again, yeah, they do have examples, so you can have idea of what's possible on what you can do as well. Yeah, I think that was it for this. This Power BI thing is very interesting for me. I'm not even a BI passionate person, but this just blew my mind. Now, quickly and easily you can create these dashboards.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, this retail analysis sample, it was shared from Microsoft team. So as you can see, there's this little lock. It says this dashboard read only. So I cannot really customize this dashboard. I can only click on it. So it makes it very easy to share information to your people.
It would be quite cool if you can, like GitHub, you can fork or clone someone else's lock dashboard and customize it for your own things.
That's I
And
can see it's this like if you click on it,
yes,
save as a copy and say let's call this my store sales. And let's save and let's quickly see if we can do that. Oops, I went wrong. Doesn't seem like it. I think maybe we just broke it.
it's preview. Let's all just leave it on that level.
Let's just quickly refresh this guy. Complete refresh.
What's impressive is this is a single page application.
Yes, yeah, you can see that. Yeah. Save copy of report. My report. Doesn't seem
Something
like.
went wrong. User voice input.
But yeah, but I think that'd be a nice feature, because
Yes.
to view some of the information. But it might be again that you maybe do not want to expose the raw data set to the end user. That you just want to expose a dashboard. But if I look at the core CLR one, which we imported, if I look at let's look at this common trends, and I say this and I say save a copy. Let's try that. It's one thing with online services, you have to wait sometimes.
Sometimes. Yes,
So,
there we go.
My contrib. So there, meet and reports, it move it there. So then I can customize this again. So edit report, and then I have a copy of it. So then I can customize it again to my needs.
Wow.
But then I don't affect the other one that was the default one for that dashboard. Because again, the thing I forgot to show you, it's not like you're only allowed one dashboard per report. You can have multiple dashboards. You can have dash one,
and dash playground, yes. Okay.
Dash two, and that way then I can merge the information, as well. Yeah, there's a lot of things to play around with, which is kind of nice. Let's see. That's actually something I forgot to show you. Under the data set settings, you can actually say exactly your refresh rate of your data,
and each per data set, which is quite cool.
Which is quite nice. Because, for example, you might say, sales orders you want to know.
So we seem to be, we have lost Sissel there. But in any case, let's see if we can get him back quickly. These things happen. Sissel, are you there?
I hear you.
Yes, hi. Yes, now I can hear you as well. Something happened there. I think it's maybe Google trying to tell us you have to cut this out. You have to stop.
No.
Because I think we are only getting an hour coverage or something with Google Hangouts.
Yeah,
that was also my concern. We might be cutting off, but yeah, it was just probably internet connection. But on that note, this was actually the most exciting show so far that we have. Thank you very much for coming to share your knowledge, especially the ones on Power BI. I made a whole list of Power Pivot, Power Query, Power Map, Power View, everything that has Power and Preview in.
Yes, I think when the preview label drops, I think we'll have a bit more in-depth session on what each one actually does in more detail, and try to create some advanced dashboards.
No, absolutely. But like I said, we shouldn't stop there. I would love to have you on next time as well, and then we can actually talk about Excel or even Word, PowerPoint, Visual Studio. We can talk about all these other applications that Microsoft is bringing out, the new Microsoft is bringing out, to show the world that actually these guys are actually changing the way they think about the enterprise.
Yeah, I agree with you. And especially at the rate that they release new updates, it's sometimes very difficult to keep up to date with everything. So yeah,
And
yeah,
and for me, everything is in the open these days. Look at the .NET framework.
yes,
It's in the open, and
yeah. I think everyone is waiting for Visual Studio to go open source.
it's probably coming soon. Preview or something.
True.
In any
Okay.
case, thank you very much, sir, for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.
Yes.
Guys out there, if you like this episode, please subscribe to our feed. And yes, your comments are very welcome. Please like our video, and we hope to indulge you guys more. Cheers.
Yes.